In this video, we will examine the basic building blocks of the Display5 CMS. By learning these fundamental components, and how they relate to each other, we will accelerate our understanding of the Display5 CMS, and our ability to create the content we desire for our Display5 shows. There are 7 basic building blocks for the Display5 CMS. They are: shows, the show canvas, or simply, the canvas, a panel, the panel layout, or show layout, the panel playlist, slides, and finally, widgets. Let's go through them one by one, starting with what is meant by a show. Display5 refers to a show as the sum of all the CMS components coming together, as assembled by a user, resulting in the content playing on a targeted screen or screens. A show can be in various stages of assembly and may be modified at any time, but once its parameters are defined and it is structured, it can be viewed in its current state by clicking on the preview button. Here is an example of a show, and when we click preview, it opens a unique URL for this show and starts to play immediately. This URL will also be used in the browser of any player which will be playing the show. Now, let's move on to the next 3 building blocks. The show canvas, or simply the canvas, is the entire surface area of the show. It is the entire width and height of the show. The dimensions of width and height, expressed in pixels, is also known as the show resolution, which, in this example, is 1280 by 720 pixels. A panel is a unique area on the canvas which is equal to, or less than, the size of the canvas. In most cases, panels will be smaller than the canvas, but as we will see, there are times when they should be equal in size. We can add up to 40 panels to a show canvas. And, using the show container widget, which we can learn about in another video, there is no limit to the number of panels which can be placed on a show canvas. As panels are added to a canvas, and then sized and positioned as desired, they result in what is referred to as the panel, or show layout. A panel layout can be a single panel, or multiple panels. Unique content is added to each panel as desired, and when the content from all the panels in a show layout play together, their simultaneous play is the show. In the Display5 CMS videos about show parameters and structure, the show canvas, panels, and the panel layout are explained in greater detail. Once the show structure and properties have been defined, Display5 generates a show content editing window, which allows us to add content to each of the panels. We are now ready for the second phase of building a show, which is adding the content to the show. The first building block of adding content is the playlist. Each panel has a playlist. When we click on one of the panel names above the rendering of the show canvas, we can see the panel playlist for the panel to the right. A panel playlist can have one or more pieces of content in it. Each piece of content in the playlist is referred to as a slide. The slide is the second building block of adding content, and we talk about slides relative to their position, navigation and their functional capabilities within the playlist. Finally, the last building block is the widget. A widget is a content building block, and is also a content type. Display5 has over 130 widgets and is constantly adding and enhancing the list of widgets and widget types. When we want to add a new slide to our playlist, Display5 opens the list of widget types to choose from. We select a type, and then select a specific widget. This will be covered in the widget overview series of videos. If we are not clear on the 7 building blocks of the Display5 CMS, then we would encourage a review of this video. The next set of videos will cover widget types, common elements among all widgets, and the differences between creating and editing widget slides.